Yeah, I always start the podcast off with not knowing what to talk about. And it's kind of the key to my success, I guess. Or maybe it's not the key to any success.
Conversation.
I like it to be as authentic as possible. I don't like I have a brother who does a podcast too, and he's like, dude, you need to have an intro. Like, you need to be like, hey,
welcome to Rise Above Podcast, where we talk about.
Yeah. I don't feel like that's natural to me. It feels weird and clunky.
Every podcast I listen to does or has like a little bit of an intro, like song or something.
Yeah. But I like to
like,
just
hey, we're talking about this, and they'll be like, whatever your little intro is. We're a Rise Above Podcast.
So do you think that having an intro pulls you into the conversation? Like, okay,
that gets me ready for the podcast. Like I listen to most true crime ones, so they all have some kind of like, I don't know. Hey, we're talking about Apple Blossom Kombucha today. Like, she's gonna tell you how she did this, and this is the Right Above Podcast, and then I don't know. I feel like that's what they all do, but. So then I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be a good episode. Or a lot of like fitness ones I listen to. After they tell me the intro, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to listen to this.
See, then it kind of spoils the episode, like as opposed to just being like, okay, I'm just listening to two people talk about whatever this title is.
Yeah. Well, you get to make it this is your thing. You don't got to listen to anybody.
No, I don't. I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just feels weird to me because I've tried it in the beginning and it was just like this weird dynamic of like somebody sitting across from me watching me do this intro, and I'm like, this is weird.
I could pre-record it.
I could. Yeah.
Or do it after and then clip it in.
Yeah.
Do our whole talking. Afterwards, I leave. You do your little intro, clip it in the beginning.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm always open to like different things and trying different things. I just don't like things that actually cause more work.
Right. Oh, I'm 100%. I'll talk about that too. Like, I invest my money what's going to ease my production and make it easier for me.
Yeah. Now, I don't know anything about your business at all. I've seen you around town.
Are we recording?
We are.
Oh.
Yeah, we are. We have been. I don't know anything about it. But I do know that you're pretty successful because you have a storefront and it looks sweet. Every time I go by it, I was just by it yesterday. Yeah. I'm like, I want to go inside there.
Yeah.
I want to check it out.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And then you have you have your products in stores. What is that like?
Yeah, I like when people say that. It makes me feel good. But
and when I say I don't know anything about your business, I don't know about like where you started and like how you got to where you are now.
Okay. Well, I started at Allen Neighborhood Center. I was a teacher before. I was a PE and health teacher at Charlotte Middle School and a couple schools.
Did you go to Charlotte?
No, I'm from Chicago.
Oh, okay. I went to Charlotte.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I was from outside Chicago. I got a scholarship to pole vault at Grand Valley. Went to Grand Valley, got my teaching degree, taught around Grand Rapids, got a job at Charlotte Middle School, taught at Charlotte, started my kombucha business. I was training for bodybuilding shows, actually. I did a couple bodybuilding shows, and my coach was like, yeah, like you're eating so much protein, you really need to take care of your gut. Because I was like, man, I'm having like these horrible stomach pains. He's like, probiotics. I'm like, I don't like yogurt, so much sugar in yogurt, and you're trying to balance your sugars, and it was just too much. He's like, try this thing called kombucha. And I was like, kombucha? Like, bought a bottle. And then I was buying, this was right out of college on a teaching salary. I was buying 7 bottles of kombucha,
which is not cheap.
No. Especially back then, it was even more expensive because the big brands didn't own them then.
Yeah.
Just spending literally more on kombucha than my grocery bill. So I was like, how do you make this yourself? So I started making it myself, and my college roommate was like, or I guess out of college, but my best friend was like, you're going to kill yourself making this stuff. Like, look at these stories of these crazy hippies. And I was like, yeah, but like something went wrong if they killed themselves, making kombucha. So I was just making it for myself. I got my personal training certification. So I was personal training for bodybuilding. And I was like, just like, this stuff's awesome. Like giving it to my friends, giving it to my families, giving it to my clients. One night I'm laying in bed and I'm like, I'm going to sell this stuff. Like, why am I giving it away for free? Like, this is good. I can make this work. And I've always kind of been like any job I had, like, I wanted to be the boss. I could do this better. Principal, whatever. I mean, it just like, I already knew I didn't like working for somebody. So even when I was a teacher, I was like, I'm going to be a principal. Like, I could run this better, in a lot of cases. But so then I signed up for a farmer's market, and Julia, who was the farmer's market manager at Allen Street, said, like, you can't just sign up and sell this. Like, you need to be licensed. And I was like, licensed? What do you mean? And I remember that night, like, I stayed up till 4 a.m. and I did everything. Like, I signed up for kitchen space at Allen. I found insurance. I signed up for my food inspection. I made my LLC, did a bank account, like, did it all, and was like, I got a company the next morning. And
holy cow.
I know, like, I just knew it would work. I don't know how to describe it. It was just like a feeling, like, I could make this happen. Like, wow. This is going to happen. So I did it all in a night. And then for 3 years, I juggled being a teacher, making kombucha, and coaching and personal training. And, like, I've never had less than 3 jobs. Like, I've always just been doing everything. And that just is who I am. I can't sit around. And finally, I got pregnant. I had my daughter. So I was coaching, teaching, personal training, doing kombucha. And I was like, I got to a point, which is saying a lot, where I was like, I can't do this all. And teaching is just really hard. And
in what aspects? Like the kids, or just like
everything, like not feeling appreciated. I'm working so hard, and it's not, you're not getting people who are like, you're doing a great job. You're really making a difference in my kid's life. Like, it's just kind of like you just keep getting beat down. You keep getting asked to do more. If anything, parents are yelling at you, or you're being, evaluated and recorded and have to do all this stuff. You can't just actually do your job. So I was like, I remember I made a huge pro-con list, and I was like, I can always go back to teaching. Like, I'm still certified for 5 more years until you recertify. So I'm going to try and do kombucha. I mean, it wasn't that easy of a decision, but I did it. I made the leap. I outgrew Allen, which is where I was renting hourly kitchen space and making it. And I just couldn't make enough. It wasn't big enough. So I signed my lease at my current spot. I actually took over somebody's lease. So that's why it was affordable. And if you come in, it's a very small space. But people, kind of circling back to how we started this, like, you drive by and you're like, wow, she must be doing great. She has this spot on Saginaw, this huge storefront.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very small storefront. And it's not just a storefront. I make everything there. I make and do everything there. So it's not just sitting. And yeah, it looks like I'm doing great, but rent is really, really expensive. But something else that makes me feel good is when people are like, I see your stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, then that truly means you shop local, because I'm only in local places. So if you're seeing me in Foods for Living and Campbell's and Horrocks and Babe's Corner and places, then you're going local places and you support local, because those are the only stores I'm in. Like, it takes somebody who understands supporting local to stock my product. So I really jive with my stores that I'm in.
That is a wild...
It was a very long story.
No, it was very short, and there's so much packed in there. I'm just like, holy cow. Like, you've done so much. How long was this process? When did you start the business?
5 years ago.
5 years ago. And you're still doing it full-time. And at what point did you go full-time?
3 years ago, when my daughter was born then.
Wow.
Yeah. So 2 years juggling everything.
Oh my gosh. And you developed a business overnight.
I mean, I remember my first farmer's market. I showed up with like 16 bottles of kombucha, and I sold them all and was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But now I show up with a lot more than that.
What was the reaction from like your family? Because I'm sure that they were like happy that you went to college, and they're like, yeah, she's a teacher. I'm sure that they're proud of you. And then when you just decided to just quit your job and chase this dream of being a hippie selling kombucha.
They were along the journey with me, like hearing my teaching struggles, hearing like I'm leaving when it's dark out. I coached diving and cross country. So I'm coaching until it's dark out. And then I come home and it's like, here's $32,000 a year. I'm still paying off loans, got a mortgage, like paying my bills. And it was a struggle. And they were also there when I was, making my pro con list. Like, can this work? Can it not? And I mean, I worked at another school after Charlotte, in St. John's, special education school. And it's far away. It was all different grade levels, special needs too. So it was just really hard, like a lot of curriculum to come up with. And it just wasn't a job I was super happy with. So they were there saying, like, if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to teaching and apply at school districts that you'll be happy with. Dang, like you've been in enough at this point. I mean, I worked at like 20 different, I was a traveling PE teacher in Grand Rapids. So I've taught in, over 20 schools. So,
wow.
Yeah, what'll be a good fit for you? Like middle school, my jam. Like high school, no. Elementary school, love them, but it's exhausting. Like draining. You have to be putting on a show all the time. So like I knew it was middle school. I wanted to work somewhere closer to me. Like I hate driving my life away. Charlotte was 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. St. John's, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. You're driving an hour of your day every day.
Right.
All year.
Eats up a lot of time. I have some coworkers. I work at General Motors, and I have some coworkers that travel over an hour to come to work, and they live on some live in like Detroit, some live in Saginaw area, and it's like, why don't you move closer? Like that is so much time in the vehicle.
So much.
I mean, I like driving sometimes. Like you throw on some music or a podcast or whatever it is, and you just kind of go, and it's fun. It's fun to do that, but to do that every single day and to have to do that.
I couldn't. Some people don't mind it. Like you said, some people love it. Some people like the drive, decompress or get ready, but not for me.
No. Find something else.
Exactly.
Find something else that decompress. Like when I go to work and I come home, I work out immediately.
Yeah.
And that's like my decompression session. And then I go about my evening. And like those people that drive, they're all overweight. They don't have time to work out. They complain about not having time to do anything. It's like
don't get them. That's a whole nother rabbit hole.
It really is. It really is. So do you still personal train, and do you still do the bodybuilding? And
so just recently I worked at the YMCA as a personal trainer in group fitness. I still have 3 clients from the YMCA that I just personal train on my own. And then I was working at Orange Theory Fitness as a coach.
What is that? Is that like
it's group fitness, so it's HIIT training as well. Based on your heart rate. It's a corporate, but
do you wear like a monitor or something?
Yep, heart rate monitor based. Okay. So scientifically based. But so I worked there for 3 years as well. I started there before my daughter was born, so over 3 years. And just recently quit this winter because once again I was like, this is too much. Like they wanted me to work more hours, and I was growing in kombucha, and I was like, I don't want to like break this tie because I love working here and I'd go back, but I can't juggle both right now. Like I'd love to come back if I could, but I told you in my initial interview, like kombucha is always going to take the reins. So
right.
That's where I was at that point. So not to say I won't ever go back, like my teaching certification, personal training certification too. You just have to renew it, take some credits, renew it.
Well, I mean, and if you stayed there any longer, you probably would end up owning the place.
It's franchised owned. They're very expensive to open, but
so that's pretty cool. So you still personal train. You have a couple clients. Do you train them out of you said you have a home gym?
I just online train. So I write their programs. Okay. I mean, I've been training them since I moved here.
So you're like a fitness coach in a sense.
Yeah. So I write their workouts, tell them I've been with these guys for a long time. So they kind of know the deal. Measurements, tracking our progress, exercises. I know what they like. I know what they don't like. So just in that sense, but a lot of people do just know me and know that I've been in the fitness industry. Like I'll talk to people. I mean, I love it. That's what I'm passionate about, you too. So when people are like, oh, can I write you a workout program? That's a hard question, like, because it takes me a long time, like knowing what their goals are, what their normal routine is, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, what gym they go to, what equipment that gym has. So it takes me a really long time to write and research a workout plan.
A lot of people don't really know, though. Like they just want to be told what to do. They're
exactly.
like, what do I need to do to lose weight?
So that's when So that's when I'm like, go to Orange Theory or go to CrossFit, somewhere where there's a coach who tells you what to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. It takes out the guesswork. You just show up.
Yeah.
Instead of going to Planet Fitness, spending 2 hours there, doing the wrong thing that's not effective.
Yeah.
Or pay for a couple sessions with a personal trainer and get on a plan, because that's what's so debilitating to people is they're like, man, I've been working out for a year and I haven't lost any weight. Well, why?
Yeah. Get a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to do it, get somebody who does, invest in that if it's important to you, and then go from there and truly make the progress.
Yeah, that's something that I've been like kind of thinking about a lot lately is coaches, like having a coach for things. I mean, I went to this event, it was called Roger Up, and one of the guys that was speaking there, he's a successful business owner. He owns like, I don't know what his business is, like a soap business or something. But he's like, I'm not going to sell it for less than $4 million in like 4 years or something. And his thing was like he gets a coach for everything that he wants to be successful in, whether it's business, fitness, and like a relationship. And so he hires a coach, and I'm like, that's probably, there's something to that. Like having somebody push you in all those areas, all the areas that you want to be successful in.
Yeah.
Do you hire any coaches like for business or anything like that?
Well, that's what I was thinking when you said that. Like the areas where I'm weak in, I suppose I could, but I'm the kind of person who's like, I could figure that out. I could do that. Like I'm going to do that on my own.
Yeah.
But then I like coach, I guess that's just my personality type. Like then I coach myself. I watch a million YouTube videos. Like even when I started my kombucha company, like I listened to podcasts about farmers markets and starting a small business. And then now I'm trying to be better on social media and Instagram. So how to make reels and how to, attract people to your business. So I try and coach myself in it. But
well, I mean, I think it's very important to, I mean, we have like all the resources available to us. We have the internet.
If you want to do the work, right.
But it's so easy. Yeah. I mean, like all you got to do is pull up YouTube, push play, put some headphones in and just go about your business while you're listening to whatever it is, a podcast or whatever, to talk about how to create a reel or how to promote on social media.
Yeah.
I do that almost all day, every day at work.
Yeah.
Almost all day, every day.
Yeah,
like
good.
how to create reels, how to promote, like what to talk about in podcasts, which is the dumbest thing to listen to. Like what you should conversate about.
Yeah.
You should just conversate about whatever, but
it's natural.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, I think a lot of people benefit from somebody pushing them, like somebody else pushing them.
Yeah.
Some people can't just like,
to keep you accountable and to keep track of it. You want goals that you can, you don't want a broad goal like, I'm going to lose some weight. Like, and how are you going to do it? When are you going to do it by? How
is that what you do?
It depends the person too. Like, what's your end goal? Are you just trying to be fit and healthy and go to the gym for your mental sanity? All right, here. Or like, I want a bigger butt. All right, this is how we're going to do it. Let's track our progress on squats, hip thrusts, whatever.
Right.
Like, are you getting stronger? Let's do some measurements to track it. So it really depends people's goals.
Yeah. But like, as far as business, is that what you do? Do you set like goals for yourself? Do you, like, in what terms do you do it? Like 5-year goals or like daily goals?
I do season goals. So like I have my summer, once again, individual to my business, like farmer's market season is this summer, you're 6 months on at the farmer's market and then 6 months of winter. So my farmer's market goals, this summer, for example, I wanted to be in more than one farmer's market. Small goals, but still, like, that's a big deal to me.
Like a week?
Yep. Well, not a week. I started with 5 farmers markets a week. Now I do 1, but another Saturday. So Saturdays are the big days for farmers markets. I've done a Tuesday farmers market, a Wednesday farmers market, a Thursday farmers market, a Saturday, and a Sunday. I know when I first started, like, young go-getter Caley was like, let's go, let's do everything. Let's do every event, every show, every farmer's market in town. And it was great, exhausting, but that's what I had to do to grow my business and meet so many people. But now my goal was I just wanted to be in 2 Saturday farmers markets because that's the big farmers market day. That's why I wanted to invest my time, and I knew I could sell all my kombucha that I made on a Saturday. So I applied to, Grand Rapids, the Meridian Farmers Market, and Ann Arbor, and I got into the Ann Arbor Farmers Market. So I hired somebody to go do that for me this summer, and that was a big step. So now it's winter, and my step is to push into stores in Ann Arbor now that I've made that customer base. So I tell myself, I want to get into at least 3 stores to make it worth my while driving down there, dropping, making deliveries. So that's my winter goal, 3 stores.
Wow. That's really cool. That is really cool.
Small goals, but big goals to me because it's just me doing it.
Those are big goals. Those are really big goals.
Yeah. And circling back to the stores you're in, it takes somebody special to stock my product. They need to understand why my price point is a little higher than other kombuchas.
Right.
I use all ingredients from Michigan farmers, so even my ingredients are more. All my glassware is from Michigan, my labels from Michigan, my caps, so everything's a little, but that's what I've always wanted it to be, and that's what's important to me.
Locally based.
Yes.
That's very cool. That is so cool. I didn't know that.
People always say that. They're like, you need to advertise that more. I'm
really
like,
do.
I know.
You really do.
So I have 6 bottled flavors: berry, botanical, root, ginger, cherry, and blueberry lavender. So all my blueberries and lavender are from Michigan. All my gingers from Michigan. All my mints from Michigan. All my berries are from Michigan.
What is the process of finding all that? Do you get it?
Creating relationships with the farmers, which back to the 5 farmers markets a year. I found a farmer. I'm like, grow ginger for me. I'll buy it all. As much as you grow, I'll buy it.
Wow.
So buy it all. Get somebody, a supplier, I guess, in sorts, to grow all my mint or my cucumbers or my beets. And I just buy it all when they're harvested. I spend a whole day per ingredient washing it, cutting it, freezing it so I can use it throughout these 6 months in the winter now.
Wow.
And then, it was hard for me to get glassware from Michigan, my labels printed in Michigan, designed in Michigan, my caps, but especially during COVID. So I just bought pallets and pallets and pallets of bottles and caps and things.
Wow.
It was a scary time. So my accountant's going to be like, where'd all your money go this year? I'm going to be like, sitting in a warehouse in pallets of kombucha bottles. That's all right, though. But that's what's important to me. So then you see my wholesale price point is sometimes more than $1 more than GT's or Kavita or literally billion-dollar companies, and most of them are owned by Pepsi and Coke. So if that's important to you to stock those products over mine, then we won't work well together,
Yeah.
if you don't see what I'm trying to do and how important it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's really important. I think it's really cool that you support local businesses also within your business, especially as a growing business, because it's so much easier to want to just use something that would be cheaper.
100%. I could go to Gordon's, buy everything.
Sell your stuff cheaper, probably make more money because more people would be willing to buy it. But no, that's not it.
The money we spend here typically stays here. And if we want Lansing to grow, people like you who I see your stuff everywhere, then we need to support local businesses. Or people like, oh, I'm so sad that this business went out of business. Were you supporting them? Were you going to them? Were you tagging them in Facebook? Were you, really supportive of them? It takes, even if you don't have, and you probably see these as small businesses too, you don't need to buy my kombucha to support me.
No.
My stuff, share my stuff, comment on my stuff, tell people about it,
follow.
Word of mouth. Yeah.
Anything supports. Since I started this podcast, I honestly didn't really know of any small businesses. I mean, other than the storefronts that I would see in Frandor or whatever, you knew that they were there. And so during the process of having the podcast, I'm like, I need to talk to local business people who own small businesses, because I personally don't know.
Yeah.
I live in Lansing. I don't know any of these businesses. So honestly, I don't even remember how it started. I just started talking to one person, and then one person led to another person, and it's just so on and so forth.
And now you're in it.
And then one thing I realized by doing that is how supportive everybody is of each other, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then you go to these events like the farmers markets or these different like art fairs and stuff, and you see how like connected everybody is because everybody's there promoting their stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, I see what this is. Like, it's a community of people.
100%. Yeah. And that's what I tell everybody too, like lean on each other. Like my friend who owns another small business was like, hey, where'd you get your t-shirts made? Hey, you know any local food trucks? And then
that does look like a good quality t-shirt.
They're nice. But yeah, or like, hey, have you met so-and-so? He could help you with that, or she could help you do that. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Can you introduce me? And then share contact information. And it's a good community to be in, and lean on those people because we've all been there trying to grow a business. And same with just the resources in Michigan, like the Small Business Center. Like I tell everybody to use it if they're trying to do a startup. Like, find somebody good. There's local seminars. You want help with social media? Oh, there's one this weekend. Or Michigan State has a lot of resources as well for products.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think one of the biggest tools for locally like owned businesses is the 517 living Facebook group.
Yeah,
like
100%.
I've had Sarah on before, and that's one thing that was really cool. We went to the 517 living community night event.
Heard it was big.
It was big.
Yeah.
But like Sarah was there, and she's like, every time I'd go up past her, she'd be like, hey, David, did you meet this person? You need to have them on your podcast. And then she'd run away.
Yeah.
And then I'm stuck talking to this person. But the thing is like, she was super supportive of me and helping me out. And she does that to everybody. It's like so selfless.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you use the 517 at all?
Yes, as I need to be better with using it to promote my business. I just am really scared of like people negatively, commenting or saying something.
Don't worry about that.
I know, but like I'll comment as Caley, like, oh, this, but I never like post Apple Blossom Kombucha stuff there or really promote it unless it's an already going thread. I just remember, I just don't like criticism on it. One time, it was when the Trader Joe's is like the article about them opening, and somebody commented, like, why are you people so against Trader Joe's? Like, local grocery stores aren't even a thing anymore. Name one. So literally, I just went on as Caley, who's in local grocery stores. I said, hey, there's a lot of local grocery stores. Westland's Apple Market, Horrocks, Foods for Living, Campbell's Market, Tom's Food Center. Like, just listed them. Like, they're family-owned grocery stores. Just answering this dude's question. And he, like, ripped me apart. And I'm like, whoa. Like, sorry, dude.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
This was on the 517 page?
It was 517 or Lansing Foodies, one of those two, because those are the only big ones I follow.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who's saying that stuff on there, you just got to think that they're a loser, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like, why are you even commenting, like, there's not even local grocery stores?
Yeah. What's the point?
Do you have anything going on, sir?
Yeah.
Like, why are you saying that?
Or I post reels about kombucha, obviously, and people, kombucha is so disgusting. I can't believe you drink that mushroom juice. And I'm like,
mushroom juice? What?
Well, what ferments kombucha is called a SCOBY, and it originated in China, so it's known as like a mushroom tea. But anyways.
Wow.
I just don't like you said, like, what's the point? Literally, what's the point? Clearly, I own a kombucha business. Why do you feel like you need to write that? Like, just keep on scrolling. So, hence why I don't interact as Apple Blossom Kombucha too much on that page. I know I need to be better, though.
You should.
Yeah.
And just don't worry about it. I would come to your defense.
Yeah.
I would.
So would Jeremy. I keep looking at that. Even though he, like, was hesitant about kombucha at first.
Was he?
Yeah.
That's
funny.
I
feel like he might. It's not his favorite thing, but he wouldn't rip me apart about it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's supportive. Jeremy's an awesome guy.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like Jeremy. Yeah. I have nothing but good things to say about him. He's been on like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he, when he delivers for Aaron, so I'm a pickup center for Aaron and Kendra as well on Tuesdays to pick up food, drop off containers. And Jeremy will deliver to East Lansing, and he lives in Lansing. So I'm always like, stop by, like, warm up, charge your battery. I'll give you a glass of kombucha, and then move on. He's been really busy lately with Aaron's deliveries. So I actually haven't, well, I say a long time. I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, which is a long time.
Erin was actually on yesterday.
Yeah. She told me she was. She said she did one a long time ago.
She did.
But about her business, and this one was more personal.
It was. And
I'm excited to hear about it.
Well, it might not be released. So I think she's nervous about it. And I was like, just think about it and I'll release it if you want me to release it.
Yeah.
So, it was a good episode. She has like, I have like a high respect for Erin.
Yeah.
Because I remember the last time she was in here, she was different. Like she just seemed different.
Yeah.
Like she was more nervous and timid. And then this time.
She's really found herself. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like
you
really,
can tell.
She's just more present and like bubbly and just happy. And at the, like all the times I've seen her at these like farmers markets and out in public, she just seems like she's living her true self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Erin was actually one of the first people I met because she also started at Allen Street. The Allen Farmers Market used to have a maker's tent where it was one tent and they would only let us have like a 4-foot table. And I was set up next to Erin when she was just doing granola. So it was Erin and me, and we are the makers of Allen Street. And that's how I initially met her, literally 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not like Erin?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she has amazing food.
Agreed. Her soups. I've heard you talk about her muffins.
Oh my
Take
God.
it easy. I don't need to hear the whole spiel again. I know they're good.
Yeah, her muffins are really good. Every time I see her, she sent me a message recently. She was like, I'm at the East Lansing Farmers Market on Sunday or whatever. She's like, feel free to come down. She's like, I'll have chicken wraps and muffins.
And muffins. Literally your two favorite things.
I was like, okay, I'll be down. And then I went down there and got them. They're really good.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. No, I have a huge respect for her because, like, for one, her food is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so underrated. And she is somebody that I know needs a cafe because her food is just so good.
I know.
So good.
I know. And I have talked and tried to help Erin. Like, it's a struggle finding a place, finding a certified kitchen, and like a good landlord. I mean, it would be impossible. Like my space, I had to get 2 different co-signers to co-sign with me. I was like, hey, like I took over I subleased from a sandwich shop that went out of business. And was like, here, I'll pay my first year in rent. And then I know, like, I thought that would be enough. Like, I saved up at Allen Street. I didn't pay myself up for 2 years at Allen Street.
Wow.
Just kept my money in my account and used it. Like, I haven't taken out any loans. I haven't borrowed any money. Like, just kept growing myself. So I got this space. I'm like, here, I can pay for a year myself. Here's my business bank account. And they're like, denied. It's like, all right, well, here's my business and my personal. Denied. Here's my business, my personal, and 2 other people that could sign on. All right, we'll accept you then. Like, but if I didn't have those, like, there's no way.
Why were they denying you?
Well, I mean, there's 2 big, you probably know, like,
Gillespie's?
Gillespie's, the Coors, or Franderson, and the Ides. So they own a lot of Lansing. But you need
all of Lansing.
Yeah, you need a lot of money to prove that you can, stake out your lease. And if I didn't have people to co-sign with me, like not that they're, covering my rent or anything, but just that if I didn't have them, I couldn't get a space. It makes it so hard. It makes it so impossible. And I'm sure Erin's running into a lot of those struggles, and a lot of other small businesses are as well. So you got to get loans or backers, or restaurants are a whole different thing. Or find, a landlord who understands that or will work with you, or
in which case you're probably looking at a place that's not more commonplace than like Frandor, or you're probably looking at something like Old Town that's, or maybe off the beating off the beating course a little bit.
Yep.
So you're not going to be seen
as
much.
You're off the beaten course. Is it a certified kitchen? Do you need to make it into a kitchen? That's a whole construction thing. Washable walls, washable floor, 3-compartment sink.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something you think about.
I know.
When you're wanting to start.
When you're just like, I want to start a restaurant. Yeah. And then you're like, oh shit, I need to have this grease trap. I need to have this size grease trap. I need to have this kind of ventilation. Oh, it needs, like, there's just a whole list. It's so hard. It's really, yeah, people don't understand. how hard it can be and all the hoops you need to jump through.
One thing I find really interesting, and I'm kind of learning more and more about it the longer I live in Lansing, but a lot of these restaurants that you think are like smaller, like smaller owned restaurants,
or like franchises,
they're almost like, they're not franchises, like they're different restaurants, but they're owned by the same person.
Mm-hmm.
So like we went to this restaurant recently on Michigan Avenue, on the east side. Like, where's it at? I think it's pretty much across the street from Strange Matters Coffee or whatever that coffee shop is, right downtown.
Okay.
Anyways, it's owned by another business downtown Lansing. Another restaurant. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I thought it was like a privately or small owned business, and it's not.
I mean, is that their only restaurants, like the two here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I know that like the person that owns Midtown Brewing also
owns a vegan restaurant.
Do they?
Or maybe she was just the chef, started at Midtown, and then opened.
Oh, okay.
Is opening that vegan restaurant.
It's open, I believe.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we were down there Friday, and it was open. They were passing out candy and whatnot.
Yeah, maybe it's not the same owners, but there's some connection there. Yeah. I remember reading.
But I know that the person that owns Midtown Brewing also owns what used to be the Loft.
Okay.
Downtown.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's weird because they have these restaurants, but then they open up all these other venues too.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
It is.
I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
I'd still consider that small business.
You think so?
Yeah. Maybe not. Which I struggle with franchises because it's like it's a corporate business, but somebody local owns it. Like they opened this franchise, you know?
Yeah.
Long ago, I was thinking of opening my own franchise gym, like an Anytime Fitness or something.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's why I struggle with seeing both sides. But
I mean, because it kind of is like a small, like a family-owned business, but you're just using the title
to the big guy. You know,
you really are.
I know. Like, I own this franchise of McDonald's. Well, it's still McDonald's. You know.
That's funny. Now the process of making kombucha.
Kombucha.
You say
kombucha.
Kombucha. Mm-hmm. That's how you're supposed to say it. Kombucha. Why do you say it that way? Why do some people say kombucha?
I don't know. Good question. Maybe that's just how they read it. But kombu, I believe, was the name of the man who discovered it. Oh, okay. And cha means tea, I believe. So kombucha.
Interesting.
Kombucha.
What is the process like?
So kombucha is fermented tea, and really the reason people drink it is because it has living probiotics in it that are good for a healthy gut and digestion, along with many other things. But a lot of people make it in their home. I do it on a more industrial scale. I brew almost 800 gallons of kombucha.
A week? It
depends. Right now it will be slower because it's winter, so I'm not selling, a lot at farmers markets. And my kombucha takes about 3 weeks to ferment.
Whoa.
So it takes a long time. So you boil water, you steep tea, you add sugar, and then I pump it in with cold water to my fermenters where the SCOBY, the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, sits on the top, and it eats the sugars and caffeine to create kombucha. From there, you can drink it straight up. But a lot of people flavor it then. So that's where I secondary ferment it with the different ingredients, berries, mint, whatever. So it sits in second fermentation. Also, it just depends on a lot of factors. It depends, the temperature in there, the airflow. So even people will be like, how come this batch tastes different than your last batch? I mean, I do it all the same. I weigh everything. I test everything. But it has a mind of its own. It's a living organism, unlike commercial kombuchas or commercial food in general that are always the same. Kombucha in bigger, in bigger companies are pasteurized, so it kills the bacterias.
It kind of beats
the whole purpose.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, people will be at farmers markets. Your kombucha's $5. I could go to Walmart and get it for $2. Okay, do it. Like, that's not even kombucha.
Cheap. That's cheap. $2? I would never pay $2 for that.
So there's one brand who's now owned by Pepsi, and it's a cheaper kombucha on every single shelf in every single grocery store, but they pasteurize it. So they heat it up, kills the bacterias.
Why do they do that?
Because they ship it all over the world.
Okay.
And it's glass, carbonation. All kombuchas have trace amounts of alcohol. So, if it gets hot, it could, it's more unpredictable. And so they, once again, want to make a consistent product. They pasteurize it so it tastes the same every single time.
Does it have any benefits?
So they say they add like powdered probiotics back to it, which is a whole nother argument. Like, will powdered probiotics help? You want probiotics that are living things that could help your gut.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I mean, I've always bought GTs. I actually haven't had kombucha in a very long time, but I used to buy GTs. Now, how often should you be drinking it? Because I used to drink it almost daily.
Yeah, I drink it every day.
Do you?
I drink it.
You drink like a full bottle of it every day?
Mm-hmm. But I've been drinking it every day for 5 years, Really the only thing, if I have like a more acidic batch, I'll notice like I get like canker sores or something just from the acidity. Some people just drink a little bit every day, kind of like a little shot of it every day, or add it to their smoothies, or it depends your diet. Like, are you getting other probiotics in your diet? Are you eating sauerkrauts or kimchis or yogurt or fermented things?
Right.
How's your gut health?
I take a shot of apple cider vinegar every day.
Yeah, there you go.
3 tablespoons. Well, 3 tablespoons in the morning and then 1 in the evening.
Yeah. A lot of people compare kombucha to an apple cider vinegar, just like the vinegariness. They both produce an acetic acid, which is that like vinegary taste. Kombucha is just a little easier to drink because it's not, the pH is not as acidic. But yeah, it tastes a little better. It's flavored. GT's is look him up. He's like a bajillion millionaire, like one of the biggest companies. He hasn't sold to Pepsi or Coke. I don't know why he would. But his kombucha has a lot of sugars in it because he uses a lot of juices. So if you look at it like kiwi juices and stuff, and some of them are like 25 grams of sugar. So you just gotta, back to health and fitness too, you just have to educate yourself on what's going into your body.
Yeah. I think that's something that's lacking in so many people.
Oh my gosh, I know.
It's like, why wouldn't you take some responsibility for what you're ingesting?
I constantly have that conversation when I was first personal training, like people, Caley, I've been with you for a year and I, haven't lost any weight. Should I sign up for more sessions? And as a personal trainer, like, you can talk about diet, but you're not supposed to like write diet plans and do this. So, I always talk to everybody about diet and healthy habits, but I'm thinking of somebody in particular, and she was just like super frustrated. And I was like, well, like, tell me your day-to-day diet. She's like, I eat healthy. And I'm like, well, literally tell me what that means. You wake up, what's the first thing you do? She's like, I have yogurt with granola. I was like, what brand of yogurt? What brand?
It has Oreos in it.
Yeah. And then I'm like, all right. And we like Googled the brand and I was like, is it this one? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, there's 25 grams of sugar in this yogurt. That's literally your daily amount of sugar you should have in a day. And then after that, a lot of specifically this person's calories were, condiments, drinks. Like you're having your daily calories in your yogurt, your condiments, and your drinks. Like cut those things out. Let's see if that makes a difference. If you have to have a condiment, mustard and hot sauce, no calories, use those. Drinks, like if you need to drink pop, if you can't find an alternative like sparkling water or kombucha, then drink diet pop, I guess. Like 0 calories, but then there's a whole argument like chemicals, yada yada yada. Instead of,
Have you ever had the 0 sugar Sprite?
No.
That stuff is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't drink pop, but I've been drinking pop like a little bit more lately, and I'm like, this stuff is so good, and I feel good about it. Which is not
0 calories.
Yeah, I don't feel bad, which is not a good thing. I don't feel like good that I like drinking it.
Yeah.
But I don't really drink pop.
Right.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, one thing that a lot of people do too, and first thing in the morning is drink coffee, and they'll put creamer in it.
I know.
And it's like, that's probably one of the, are you drinking coffee right now?
Just black coffee.
Yes.
With collagen in it.
Oh, that's so gross. That's one thing I could never get used to is the taste of collagen.
It's just unflavored collagen.
Yeah, I had unflavored collagen too.
Huh.
Yeah, I put it in my coffee and it ruined my coffee.
Really? I don't notice a difference at all.
I definitely do. So what I was doing, I'd just put it in water and stir it up and then chug it.
Ew.
I would just chug it and then
it has to be in like a hot liquid.
No.
It gets like clumpy and stuff in cold liquids, doesn't it?
Well, I would put it in like lukewarm water and then stir it up real quick and then just gulp it down.
There you go.
And then I'd gag afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it ruined my coffee. I'm like a coffee connoisseur though.
Yeah.
Like I could taste, I enjoy like the taste of like the whatever roast it is.
Right.
I really do.
Yeah.
And so, I don't like anything getting in the way of it. I think I kind of developed that because I used to put creamer in my coffee and I enjoyed the creamer part. And then I got rid of that and I started drinking it black. And then I kind of started paying attention to all the different like flavors.
Yeah.
And now I enjoy black coffee and it's like, I can't put anything in it.
I know, like this whole lattes, like whenever I drive by the Starbucks by my house, literally a huge line. I also really only buy local coffee, but being a teacher, I have like so many Starbucks gift cards.
Yeah.
So me and my friend, we were going out to the football game, I think. And I'm like, I really want a coffee. I have the Starbucks gift card. Let's just stop in to spend this. And I spent it. And for the first time, this was like 3 weeks ago. She's like, we got to get a pumpkin spice latte. And I was like, never had one. Like, what is it? So I got one, and it was the most delicious thing. It was so good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but like, how many calories is this?
You don't want to know.
No, we looked it up. Yeah,
Oh
it was like over 400 calories. And I was like, in a drink?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'll enjoy it now, but like never again. This is it.
There's a guy that I work with that gets a Starbucks coffee every single morning, and it's like one of those tall ones.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what size, probably 24 ounces. And
You're drinking
it's pretty
your
much
calories.
milk. It looks like milk, like a light colored chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so many calories. Like, look how light that is. That's so many calories.
I know.
So many.
I know.
And he does it every day.
I know. Let alone, I get on my friends about drinking Starbucks every single day. Like, you could support a local coffee shop who can make that same drink every single day.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if you're buying, let's say a $3 coffee, which I know that's not a $3 coffee, that's a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, we got our 2 pumpkin spice lattes on my gift card, and it was $18. Yeah, and I don't even think we got the big ones. I was like, $18? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. No, thank you. But like, do your finances. If that guy bought that drink from a local place, by his house or by work or wherever, like how much money could you be helping somebody for the same drink instead of this bajillion $1 million company?
Yeah.
Anyways, you can tell it bothers me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's weird because like we need these chains, like these chain restaurants, but then in the same sense, it's like we do need to support more local. Yeah. So like, what do you do? I mean, obviously support more local
when you can. Figure out small ways that you can do it. Like even my daughter just turned 3, so she loves books. So buying her books from a local bookstore instead of on Amazon, like maybe it's $1 more, but like I'm saving on boxes and shipping, and now I'm supporting, Hooked Bookstore, who has a local bookstore right here.
I still have yet to go in there.
It's really cool. I have kombucha there.
They sell wine and stuff too, right?
Yeah, it's like, and they do fun events. They do like adult book fairs where you could get, drink your wine, and they do book clubs, but they do coffees. They have nice lattes and things as well, pastries. Yeah, and then a bookstore and a study area. It's really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
A bookstore that sells wine.
Yeah.
You can
because they're open till like 10 p.m. or something too.
Wow, we can go to the bookstore and get lit.
Get lit at the bookstore, a bottle of wine.
It's at a perfect location too. It's right there near East Lansing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's literally where I am, but the opposite side of Frandor, kind of. And there's parking in the back, and they have a back entrance. A lot of people think it's just like that little area where you can park, but go around back, park, go in the back entrance, and hang out there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. What are your goals? Like, I mean, obviously you mentioned your goals, like to get into Ann Arbor a little bit, but like aside from that, what are your goals to scale your business? Do you like see yourself as somebody that will be like all these other kombucha places, or like the GTs or like Kavitas or whatever other brands there are?
I like where I am. Like the best part of my job is talking to my, like, I remember almost all my customers, like have a good rapport with a lot. I'd like to say all of them. But that's my favorite part. And like a lot of other businesses are like, oh, get with a distributor, like get your kombucha in everywhere. And I'm like, I don't know. I'd have to work a lot harder and make not as much money. Like it's just me. So that's not something I want to do right now. I like making the relationships and doing things, but I definitely need help. So I think my next step is like legitly hiring somebody on the books to help me work the tap room even. Like they sit in the tap room, pour kombucha for people while I go make deliveries, or maybe they go make deliveries for me. Or, I mean, I had a friend who just did my farmers markets for me this summer, but hiring somebody to do every single market for me this summer. So at least that, get into more stores around here and hire somebody are my next goals. Long term, I definitely need a different facility. I just signed 5 more years here. So at least 5 more years in this space and then see where it goes from there. I mean, when you come in, you'll see it's just like really packed tight. I need to, because it was a sandwich shop. So there's like a long counter, a lot of wasted space. And like on brewing days and bottling days, I'm like in there, I'm like bumping into everything, spilling so much, breaking so much glass, got bruises all over my legs because I'm like running into all these spigots on the sides of the fermenters. It's just not ideal. I make it work, but what we kind of started this podcast with is I work a lot harder to make it work, and I want it to be more efficient. Like I've spent a lot of money on pumps and hoses and brewing equipment to take out the labor of it. But I think it's bugging me because this is causing me more work I have my fermenters on wheels, so wheeling them everywhere.
It's not as efficient.
Exactly. It's wasting time.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's interesting because you learn it as you go. You learn like what works and what doesn't and how exactly you'll need it and want it later on.
Yes.
And so it's obviously part of the process. It's important that you have that you have this frustration right now because then later on when you do get a new space, you can kind of develop it the way you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I want a freaking floor drain right in the middle of where I do everything because I spill and then I got to mop it all up. And
yeah. Is it difficult to get a license to operate a kombucha place because of like the bacteria and everything?
So I send my kombucha to get tested by a lab. Okay. Like I've gotten my shelf life, my pH, my alcohols tested, and I test my pHs and keep track of everything throughout my brewing. But I have a really good relationship with my food inspector. She's really awesome. I mean, I was the first kombucha in the area. So it was a lot of there was a lot of trial and error at first.
Why'd you smile like that?
There is another kombucha. I think it's out in DeWitt though.
Oh, okay.
Very different products. Just taste the difference yourself. But so it was a lot of trial and error with her, but she's helped me a lot and has really gotten me to where I am as well. And creating those relationships with other brewers. I'm friends with a kombucha company in Muskegon, and I'm like, hey, like, how'd you do this? And he's really helpful. Or this lady in Detroit. So we really help each other out. Also not direct competition, you know.
Right.
But my food license is much the same as any other food license, just different stipulations on what I have to do, which would be different too if you're doing like milk products or baking or it just depends, product specific.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Now, how did you come up with the name Apple Blossom?
So going back to something else people always say, you should tell us more about that. You should advertise that more. Apple Blossom is the state flower of Michigan. So sticking with my truly Michigan roots, I suppose. So the Apple Blossom is the state flower of Michigan, and even like on the sides of my bottles, the background is like the different topographies of different areas in Michigan. So I have the topography of Lansing on one of them. My berry is called Sleeping Bear Berry. So it's the topography of the Sleeping Bear Dunes, and my graphic designer is awesome, and that was her idea. It was great.
That's very cool.
It fits. She gets what I'm trying to do, so it was the perfect addition.
That's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that you're all original. All original.
Trying.
Yeah. I like it, and it bleeds true to what you're trying to accomplish. Like it's a true testament. I mean, because like you said, you could easily just order bottles from China,
right,
and sell it in,
I could sell it in cans for a lot cheaper.
Yeah. But nope, you're making a difference here in Michigan.
Yeah, sell it in cans, get my labels printed in China, get all my ingredients from Gordon's delivered to me, or Costco, or wherever.
But nope.
I could do that, but no. And I don't want to do that. I like everybody I work with, and that's not what it's important to me.
And it probably wouldn't taste as good either.
No. Like, taste a grocery store strawberry, or that's the biggest difference. A grocery store strawberry or a farmer's market strawberry.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Well, Caley, this was fun.
Yeah, went by fast.
Yeah. We're almost an hour in. So is there anything else you want to talk about or promote?
Come visit the tap room. I'm open. Like I've said, it's only me, so I need a day to brew and bottle. So I'm open at the tap room.
Do you have like a tour? Like, I mean, I know it's not a big space, but do you have like a day where somebody could come in and see the process?
Ooh, I mean, I usually brew I put my daughter to bed at 7:30 and then I go brew till like 2 a.m.
Wow.
So anyone's welcome to come, but I brew late. But the tap room's open Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 to 6. And I sell all my bottles there, and then I do 4 flavors on tap, which you can sample, taste, and then fill up either your own container that you bring or one of my containers.
Wow. Yeah. That's sweet. I'm going to have to swing in.
Yeah. If you got a growler or something, bring it in, refill it.
All right. Well, thanks for doing this. Website. Do you have a website?
Yep, just appleblossom.kombucha.com.
And then social media?
Apple Blossom Kombucha.
All right.
I'm bigger on Instagram, and then I just link it to everything, my Facebook and my website. So
okay,
Instagram's the best. That's where I post everything first.
That's what I do too.
Yeah.
I post on Instagram, and then it shares to my personal Facebook, and then I share it to my Rise and Above Facebook, and then so on and so forth.
Super easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before we wrap this up, one of my friends last night was complaining about how often he sees my things, and I'm like, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm happy that you
like it all. Share it.
He doesn't, but he was like, can you just post a little less? And I'm like,
no, dude, you don't understand.
Like, yeah, no, you don't understand.
No,
like it's a grind.
100%, it's a grind.
I think it was Sarah from the 517. She was like, when you post something, it's almost like an emotional experience every single time, because you're like putting all of you into that post. And it's like everything that you're trying to promote in that moment is everything that you have.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just throwing something out there or sharing like this ad that somebody else already created. That's your promotion.
Right.
And so like, if you're not willing to promote, who's going to?
Exactly.
So
I'm with you. I like all your stuff.
Well, thank you. This was fun, and I hope to do it again, and I look forward to seeing all your successes.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.